Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm George Connelly with Scratch Golf Tips, and today we're talking about the golf swing of Eric Cole and a few secrets of Eric Cole's game that anybody can learn from to make their own game better. So you've likely heard the name Eric Cole as he was announced last year's Rookie of the Year on the PGA Tour. He's played so much great golf, and within professional golf, he's basically done everything except for win on the PGA Tour, but judging by his recent form, I'm sure he'll get into that winner's circle fairly soon. Now, Cole himself is a fairly small guy. He's 5'9", weighs about 155 pounds, but he can really hit the ball pretty solidly and get some distance out of it, especially for someone his size, for a few different reasons. I think number one that you always want to look at when looking at any golf swing is the swing rhythm and the swing tempo. Mark Immelman, who is a golf analyst, you've likely heard him on some broadcasts, once explained Eric Cole's swing very wonderfully in one word, where he said the swing is just uninterrupted. It seems to flow very smoothly throughout the entire motion. There is no wasted motion. The tempo is very consistent, and I think that those are a few things that people often overlook. They really want to get very technical in their golf swing and think about their speed slot and rotationally, but all of that stuff does not matter if you don't have a smooth tempo and a consistent tempo. Now, when I say smooth tempo, I'm not necessarily referring to a very slow, deliberate tempo. You can be fairly quick, but you can also be smooth in having no uninterrupted motions and continuing your transitionary move right from your backswing. You don't have to have these hitches and awkward pauses that many golfers seem to have, but if you look out on the PGA Tour, there's no wasted motion, and there's just almost an effortless level to so many golf swings, and I think Eric Cole is a great example of that. For those who don't know, Eric comes from a great golfing family. His father was a professional golfer. His mother, Laura Baugh, was also a very successful golfer on the LPGA Tour. And one thing that his parents always instilled in him was to never get out of tempo. And to me, this really means that you're going to have the same exact swing tempo and the same rhythm to your swing as you would hitting an 80-yard wedge shot versus a 280-yard driver. And this is something that a lot of people struggle with. If you think about your own play on the golf course, likely you're going to be swinging a lot harder with your driver. And sometimes, even if it's inadvertent, you're going to be taking the club back much faster with driver. When in reality, you really want that takeaway speed and that transitionary move to all be in the same tempo. So just keep in mind that however fast you're swinging that 8-iron to hit the ball 150 yards, that should be the same tempo and same rhythm that you're going to implement when you're really trying to get after a drive and hit it 275. Just make sure that you're consistent throughout all of your swinging on the golf course. Another aspect of Cole's golf swing that a lot of people can't necessarily see on the TV screen, but it's something that he has spoken about in interviews and something that his parents have spoken about to him, is the quality of your grip as well as grip pressure. Now, Cole uses the interlocking grip, which is probably the most popular grip on the PGA Tour. We do see a few people overlap, and there's a handful of guys in professional golf and some ladies in professional golf who use the 10-finger grip. I'm not here to say what grip is better or worse. I think it's just about what works for you. But being able to focus on your grip pressure is something that is very important for consistent ball striking. And for context, when I'm talking about grip pressure, I'm talking about how tightly or how loosely you are holding on to the golf club. So a lot of people inadvertently, and they don't really think about this, but when they take the club away, there's a lot of tension in the arm. And I know that if anyone's watching this video, you can think of times you've been a little bit nervous on the course. Maybe there's a tough hole with some water on the right, and you take that club away and there's tension in your arms, and that often leads to really tightening up your grip pressure. And when you have tension in your arms and you're really tightly gripping that golf club, rarely do good things happen. That's just the nature of it. So try and loosen up throughout a round and make sure that the way, just like you're keeping a consistent tempo, keep that grip pressure consistent and be mindful of it, because there are going to be times when, you're a couple holes in, it's a nice day and you feel nice and relaxed, and then a couple holes later, maybe it gets cloudy and you're really trying to hit a perfect 7-iron and your grip pressure is going to suffer as a result. So just keep that in mind. It's something that Eric Cole and something that so many great golfers don't really have to think about because it's just they've worked on it so hard, but I think it's often overlooked. So keep focusing on that grip pressure. And I think the final note on Eric Cole's swing that I think is something that a lot of people could benefit from is Eric Cole is he hits a draw. He's a draw golfer, and he turns to it very consistently. The shallowing of his golf swing allows him to hit that draw well. If you have a solid ball flight, continue to turn to it. I know so many golfers in that 10 to 15, maybe even 20 handicap range who are pretty good at one ball flight. For me, I've always loved to fade the ball with my irons. It comes naturally to me. But a lot of golfers will then try and also work a draw in, and then maybe a low straighter shot, and they overcomplicate their ball flights. If you have one good ball flight and it's consistent and you can turn to it like Eric Cole turns to his draw, keep sticking to it. Don't overcomplicate things. I'm looking forward to seeing what Eric Cole can continue to bring to the world of professional golf. He's a very entertaining golfer to watch, and he's a really good guy. I've heard nothing but good things about him, so wishing him the best. I hope that you learned a thing or two about how to improve your own golf game based on some of the things that Cole has done throughout his career. If you have any questions or comments on the golf swing or anything I brought up in this video, please leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you all very much for watching. Play well, and take care.